Hey there everyone, and welcome to the first video recording for the Weekly Grind podcast. My name is Dave. I play as Wings of Wax, and today I plan on playing some games in ranked with a few decks that I have. All the decks that I'll be playing are either exact copies or at least very similar to decks that we've talked about on our podcast already. Before I jump into some games, though, I'd like to let everybody know that we are offering shoutouts to our first 100 YouTube subscribers on our upcoming episodes. We appreciate all the support and hope you are tuning in each week to hear our newest podcast. And that's all I have for promotions today, so let's jump right into some games. Um, Today you can see that I have I have a nerfed miracle list on the side. I actually have 3 deck lists that I'll probably be playing. There's a miracle, a zoo list, and a hunter list. All basically what we've already discussed on our podcast already. I've only made a couple of changes here or there just because I've watched some streamers and heard about their discussions on the deck, and I agreed with a lot of their choices, so I kind of made the same decision, and there were just some other little tweaks that I made just to kind of try out different things, basically. Like in this list, you can see it's on this side. Yep. The only real list change that I made to this list from the one that we posted on our Facebook page is I took out a Taj Dingo and wanted to try out a Violet Teacher, just so that we had an extra, combo card basically to go with our Auctioneer. And it sometimes can just steal games if your opponent's not running a ton of sweepers, or I don't know. It's enough to push through extra points damage basically. That's basically the only reason why I want to try it out. But that's really the only difference I have in this list. So let's try to give this one a shot because I've been enjoying playing Miracle quite a bit. Right now I'm at ranked 5 with 3 stars. I haven't really progressed too much lately just because I haven't really had a lot of time. But I plan on putting in some more time this week actually, and hopefully recording a couple more videos, which would be sweet. I'm also going to try to set up later on today a stream, which probably won't be up and running until next weekend, but I figured I would start with a couple videos just to see how this went. Looks like we are against a Shaman. Well, we can't keep Conceal, and we can't keep Sludge Belcher. The Eviscerate and the Backstab are both really nice, though. We really do want, obviously, an Auctioneer, but that's kind of like the dream. It would be nice to draw one of our 3-drops as well. So I think we're just going to keep these two because they're both good removal spells, and they both do combo with each other, or at least the Backstab combos with the Eviscerate. So that way we can take out 2 creatures. So I think we're going to keep those 2. We got a Prep, which is okay, and a second Backstab, which is okay as well. We really wanted a 3-drop, or at least an Auctioneer. We drew a Sap, so we're just going to pass. And develop our weapon, what rogues usually do, or at least Miracle. And just like what Shamans usually do, they develop totems. And we're just going to eat that totem. The audio is really loud in my headset, so I gotta turn that down. We drew a Conceal, which is pretty nice. We don't really have an easy answer for that. I mean, I guess our answer is going to be Backstab, use our last charge, and then just Redagger after this. And next turn we're just going to play that Taj Dingo that we just drew. That way we can hopefully push through for a couple of damage and at least protect our life total. It also helps take out totems, so that way we don't have to keep wasting weapons and hoping that he doesn't, just roll a healing totem. Feral Spirits is really, really good here. Hopefully this Taj Dingo actually does something. We're just going to Taj Dingo and pass the turn. We could have backstabbed and weaponed one of them, but I kind of want this Taj Dingo to eat both of those wolves. I don't think it's going to happen, but hopefully it at least eats one, so that way we can do that same play that we just discussed for the next turn. We drew a Shiv, which is also going to help us at least filter out our draws. Oof. Well, I mean, we still have the same option. So it looks like I'm just going to backstab Shiv this guy. I like to want to filter some draws to see if we can actually get an Auctioneer going. And I guess we can... I think we're going to weapon his totem and hope he doesn't roll a healing totem. We could go face. I think we're going to go with totem. And just pass. And next turn we're going to play a Belcher and then hopefully kill off this totem. Hopefully he doesn't have too much else going on. He's got 6 mana this turn, so he has access to a lot of good things. He probably is going to cast like a Belcher of his own or Totem, and I don't even know what 4-drop he would be playing right now. Fire Elemental was the other option too. Shade of Noxramas. Do we really want to tank this on the face? We could just sap it. I think we are going to just sap it for right now. And just play Shade and see if that develops. And we're going to kill off the totem. And pass after that. We really do need an Auctioneer though. We have literally everything ready for the Auctioneer. We just need that one piece. So we're basically just trying to buy time until we can find it.
I wonder.
We have 19 cards left in our deck. Okay. A Deadly Poison. Well, I don't think we can afford to attack with our Shade yet. I would really, really like to play a Sludge Belcher this turn, but we don't really have a great way of dealing with the 6/5 at the moment.
So many options.
I mean, the best way is to eat 6 on our face, which I guess will be our play. I'm just not extremely happy about it. But we really don't have any other option at the moment. So we combo this, and we send our weapon. We're at 15. Half of our life total is gone. And there's no Earthen Ring Farseers in this deck, so it's not like I have a way to gain any health back. But we do have taunts, so at least those do help out, you know, protect your life total quite a bit. He's gonna totem. I'm gonna play another Fire Elemental. He has 6 mana. I think you were looking for a spell power so that you could reliably kill that Shade. There you go. Hopefully it only rolls 2. Oh, thank God. Oh, well, never mind. I mean, he's Overload 4 next turn, which is really nice for us, but we do need to draw an Auctioneer, like I said. That also helps. I wonder if we can just get away with casting some spells with our Violet Teacher this turn instead. I think I will cast his Deadly Poison. What else do we want to cast this turn, though? I don't feel like we really want to cast very much. I'd rather keep everything else in our hand for the Auctioneer. So why don't we just create a 1/1 and pass. There's no point in attacking with the deadly poisoned weapon because we don't want to really kill off this totem, and going for face right now doesn't seem all that important because we're not really, in a position to be putting a clock on him. We're just trying to basically protect our life total and, search for an auctioneer, just buy enough time to find an auctioneer, basically. And if we can find an auctioneer, we're going to be drawing a lot of cards. So that is something to look forward to. He's going to lightning bolt and eat it with his weapon. Okay. That's fine. Maybe that deadly poison was a little too greedy, but, something had to be done. Well, I guess that becomes a loot hoarder. I don't see any other way around this, so I guess we just come in for face, and I think we just leave those. We could be, I guess I'm a little afraid of him actually casting like a Flame Tongue Totem, so maybe I should, like, I don't know, weapon one of these, but, like, how much damage can he really do? He could just deal 4, 5, 6, and if he's got like a bolt or a rock biter in his hand, he's only got like 9 points of damage. I guess he could have an Alec here, which would be another 6 on top of the 6 that's on the table, which still doesn't kill us. I don't like wasting my weapon charge though on just like a lousy totem, so like I think we just pass. Need to draw an auctioneer. Kind of like that. Yeah, it looks very similar. 5 mana, 4/4. Must be nice. Where's mine? Oh, I have an Eviscerate to kill off yours, which is about all that's going to happen. Oh, man. We can create the biggest Edwin Van Cleef the world has seen, and let's see, he's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then we have to conceal it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then we have to conceal it. So we can make it a 10 powered Van Cleef, which isn't really that great, but it's nice that we can conceal it, but we're going all in and we're not really like getting anything out of it, which is why it stinks. I think we're just going to use a coin so that way we can get our combo and kill this guy, and then we're just going to play the Van Cleef. He's only going to be 6/6, but that's still decent enough. We don't need him to be that big because I don't want to go all in on him yet. I would rather save all my spells for an auctioneer, similar to what my opponent just had. Oof. Well, now things are looking pretty grim, and we're still looking for that auctioneer. We're more than halfway through our deck, and it's not there yet. This is what happens, though, when you play a combo deck. If you're missing your combo piece, then you usually lose the game. That's going to hit our Van Cleef. Yep, obviously. You are not an auctioneer, so we lose the game. Yeah, that's basically how this works. Alright. He's 1 point off of lethal. Like, there's no way he doesn't have 1 point in his hand. So there's no point in playing that out. I can't win if I even just, like, draw the auctioneer the next turn, even at 1 life, and then go off, because then he'll just be able to recast. There's just so many ways he can deal the 1 point. There's no point. Let's try another game, though. I'm going to give it a sec so I don't have to re-queue into that guy. Even though all we needed was an auctioneer and we would have won the game, but You know, no reason to get salty. Let's try this again. I'm basically gonna keep playing a deck until I get probably 2 or 3 losses, and then I'll move on to the next one and see how they work out. I have a feeling that Zoo is going to be our most our best deck to be playing, just because like I have the most knowledge with that deck out of any of the other ones. So not that it's difficult to play or anything, but making smart decisions really does win you the game. So I think we're going to keep this. We have a backstab for his Undertaker, and we have deadly poison for just about any other small creature that he could potentially have that we might want to deal with. And we actually have a 3-drop, which would be our Shade of Naxxramas. And we're just going to pass. Preparation is fine as long as we draw the Auctioneer.
The pleasure is mine.
Haunted Creeper is not so nice. Unfortunately, I think we have to backstab that and then eat one of the 1/1s with our weapon, so let's do that. It does kind of feel like a waste, but you do have to deal with their beasts, otherwise you will lose the game. I wonder what he's got for turn 2. A Knife Juggler. Well, that means our Shade of Naxxramas is not exactly the safest. I think we still play it? I don't know. Well, we know we're going to be eating this 1/1. At the very least. We can eviscerate that right now. I think I'm just going to play the Shade and hope it doesn't die to 2 knives, and then next turn be able to weapon up and deadly poison. I take quite a bit of damage, but I want to be able to develop something on the board, and I really hope that he just doesn't have 2 creatures to just, you know, steamroll me right here. We could prep eviscerate that, but I just feel like that's such a waste. Oof. Well, that's probably a freezing trap. So, in case it's not, I mean, well, sure, we'll go face because we think it's a freezing trap. It is. So right here, I think we're just gonna evis that and then just dagger up, and next turn just play a Shade. And if he doesn't play something we can't kill with double deadly, then we're kind of looking really bad at that point. But I don't know, we need to get rid of that juggler, and I want to be able to cast this guy again, but I'd also like to save most of my spells so that if we draw an Auctioneer I can actually like go off. And there's the Auctioneer. I don't feel like I have to cast it yet, so I think I'm just going to cast my Shade and then pass. We'd kind of want like a Conceal to go with it, or just to be able to cast a bunch of spells in one turn instead of just, you know, what we have. Because we'd only be able to cast 2 spells that turn, which is not worth casting. I don't usually see that in Hunter. Interesting. Another Auctioneer. Okay, so we can actually get greedy with our Auctioneer here. So, because we drew the second one, I don't mind at all throwing this one out there now. And we're probably going to sap this 4/4 here. Ooh, we drew a Conceal as well. I don't think we have to I mean, we could conceal this turn. It really is irrelevant, though, isn't it? I mean, like, we could go Deadly Poison, still drawing a card. I mean, I think we can still we should still conceal this turn. So let's just, you know, go for it. Oh, sweet. Let's backstab this guy. We drew for a second conceal. So that's probably another freezing trap. That would be my guess, at least. It could be a snake or it could be explosive, but my guess is another freezing trap. So we're probably going to end up still attacking with the Shade of Noxdramas first, just to make sure. And then we're probably going to Cold Blood our Auctioneer. We do have a lot of points of damage, though, and a second Conceal, which is, like, the dream. This is basically, like, the God Hand now, which is pretty sweet. Alright, that's fine. I don't think you're going to be able to deal us enough damage, though, just between those. Oof. He's getting close, though. We could really use, like, I don't know, a taunt here. There's a taunt. Let's see here. So we should probably attack with our Shade of Noxdramas first, right? We could attack with the Auctioneer, but yeah, let's attack with the Shade first. It's a freezing trap, like I thought. So now we get to decide on what we want to cast, and I think it's going to be just like a Deadly Poison. We need to be able to like kill him soon though, because he's going to kill us. Well, I don't really care too much about this Auctioneer, so let's just go double Deadly. And then we can go Sludge Belcher and get in for some points. And we should have lethal for next turn, as long as one of our creatures survives. Because we have 8 points of damage just between the Cold Bloods, and we also have an additional 5 just from the Blade Flurry. So that's not too bad. 13. And we just need to find like 5 more points of damage, which is not that hard in this deck because there's a lot of like damage, a lot of reach, basically. I guess that could have been a reason to attack with the Auctioneer first instead of the Shade, because the Shade would have actually gotten a little bigger. Let's see what he wants to do, because now, like, the bow can no longer hit us just because the Sludge Belcher is on the table. Got a lot of sunlight coming in.
They'll never know what hit 'em.
That Nightblade, yep. He's getting closer. Well, that can't be the freezing trap because he's already played 2. So I guess we're just gonna Blade Flare here to start us off. Well, we drew the extra point that we needed to. Let's start with Auctioneer, just because we already have all the points of damage we could need. And we already cast a spell, so we're going to go double Cold Blood here. And then we're going to go Blood Mage. And I guess we could prep that. I mean, he's dead, but now we're just going for BM. Well, that was a nice game. He got us to 5 life. That's usually what happens, though, against hunters. They usually get you to 10 or less life, and then you end up killing them. And that's what happens when you actually draw an auctioneer. Let's try one more with Miracle, and then I'll probably switch over to a different deck. So far, not so bad, though. We actually drew the auctioneer that game, and you see what happens when you actually draw the auctioneer. You end up winning.
You asked for it. Watch your back.
So I'm gonna guess he's Freeze Mage, which if he is, then we auto lose. But none of these are keepable. Yeah, I mean this sap doesn't do anything, and even if he's like, unless he's the giant version, which I haven't really been seeing a lot of. Mage is just not that popular at the moment, so I think we just get rid of all these. The Sludge Belcher is too expensive, and the Blood Mage doesn't do enough. This Deadly Poison I'm glad we got, this Engine I'm pretty glad we got, and now I'm glad we drew that SI7 agent. Conceal was not really necessary though. As you can guess, turn 2, develop Dagger. And since we have a Deadly Poison in our hand, there's definitely no point in attacking. Wasting our weapon charge, because we probably... I mean, I guess we could have, because we're probably not going to be casting an SI7 agent next turn. We could. Well, maybe we do. So, it looks like he is Freeze Mage. Just from his turn 1 and 2 doing nothing, because usually if they're not Freeze Mage, they would actually play like an Undertaker, or they play like a Leper Gnome, or they just play their Mana Worm. Since he is Freeze Mage, I would like to actually get this SI7 agent on the board, just to try to push for some damage early on. Even though this is going to be really, really bad for us, most likely. Having the Auctioneer, though, is definitely a nice thing. So we're just going to attack and let him gain 8 life? Oh no, maybe that's... I wonder if that's a mirror entity then. I hope it's not. I can't really afford to play around the mirror entity at this point. So I'm hoping that's just the shield or an ice block, which it looks like it is. So we have to try to like race him now, which stinks, but what can we do? There's probably the one that's going to gain him 8 life. Ice barrier. Yep. Gain 8 life. So this is a really bad matchup for us. So it looks like for this turn we're just gonna cast an Auctioneer, do prep, and cast Conceal. He's going to onto turn 5, which means he now needs a Frost Nova in order to stall our board for a turn. That's another ice barrier, unfortunately. We're gonna draw a lot of cards though. Alright, let's make sure he can gain his 8 life now. Yep. Just want to make sure before like I start investing more into either the board or just drawing cards. I don't know. I just want to make sure that wasn't like a Vaporize or like another spell, because I'm pretty sure he's Freeze Mage. Yep. Or we draw an additional card, so I should probably wait. Okay. Now we have this. Alright. Almost at half his life total. We've just dealt him definitely more than 30 damage already. Because he's already gotten 16 life. Oh, we've dealt him 16 plus 30 is 46. So we've only dealt him 29. So we're 1 point off from lethal right now if he didn't have those ice barriers. No big deal. We do need the other conceal though. That way we can put him on having um, a flame strike or losing the game. From here, I'm gonna guess he's probably got at least another. He's probably got a flame strike in his hand, or at least a blizzard. So we should probably cast one of these. And I guess get a blood mage. Actually, we don't need to do the blood mage yet because we're probably gonna want to abyss him. So actually, I think we're gonna cast the Violet Teacher just because we want to be able to. Excuse me. We're gonna want to be able to play a Shave Nox Ramens. Sorry about that. Alright. Let's see what he wants to do. He's probably just going to Flame Strike the board or Blizzard the board, which is both equally awful for us. But this is why this is a bad matchup. Because they just get to the point where they can just freeze your board every single turn and you can never deal them damage ever again. But, you know, stuff like this happens. Hey, the other auctioneer. That's nice. So, if he used a Frost Nova and he didn't have the Doomsayer, that's kind of strange actually. I think we're just going to end up casting a Sludge Belcher. It doesn't feel the greatest. There's not really a ton more burn in the deck, and we don't really have any way to like charge somebody. So I'm just going to play a Sludge Belcher so that if he does like wipe the board, at least we'll probably have a token to be able to stick those Cold Bloods on that if we draw them. The next thing is I think I'm just going to go face and redagger here so that I can actually like start trying to push through with dagger damage. Because otherwise we'll never be able to deal him damage ever again. Because I have a feeling that our weapon's going to be the only thing pushing damage for the next couple of turns. Yes, yeah. Another freeze. So we're kind of stuck at a standstill at the moment. Which stinks. I mean, we have 5 points of burn in our hand with the Blood Mage and the Eviscerate. So, like, you only have to find a couple more points. Oof. Well, it's a good thing we used that 5-1 charge on our weapon last turn. Ooh, a Shiv. So, should we do the Auctioneer? I feel like we should be doing the Blood Mage thing here. And Sap, I'm pretty sure just says enemy minion. Yep, it does. Because I would love to return one of my own minions. So, we have 11 cards left in our deck. Yeah, I think we should start trying to draw some cards. Oof, do we want to cast the Blood Mage? No, probably not. It's not necessary. Conceal's pretty nice. I wonder if that actually helps us in any way, though. I don't see why we wouldn't just cast it, but... Okay, this is fine. We'll pass, because now he has to have an AoE spell. Do you have a Blizzard? You do. Well, that's pretty nice. At least we get to continue drawing cards. There's 7 cards left in our deck.
I'm ready to learn.
We're just going to start us off by drawing some cards. See, there's the double Cold Blood, making me wish I had actually like a Charger in this deck, because these mages, a terrible matchup for me. Let's go for the Abyss. So I don't think we have any more ways to burn him out. Like, our best way to burn him out is going to be Cold Blood now. So we just need to make room, I think, to push through for some more damage.
Choose soon.
Ooh, we could just play the Edwin Vencleaf. That sounds pretty good. And pretty big. And let's get our 1 point of damage in. Yay! So he's already cast 2 Frost Nova, a Blizzard, a Cone of Cold, and I don't. That's all I can think of right now off the top of my head. It's been quite a long game and treacherous. 4 mana. Fireball. Well, that stinks.
I'm almost out of cards.
Well, I don't see why we don't just, trade here. And then we have to, like, make sure that we can actually kill him soon. And now we lose the game because he's probably got at least 17 points of burn in his hand. But, who's counting? I guess we'll play another Sludge Belcher. And just in case, we have an SS7 agent. That way, to deal the extra point. Oh, this is, him killing us, because that's another...
Well played.
See, these games are so long, and then they kill you at the last second, and that's why this is annoying. Yep. Blade Flurry.
I am ready to learn.
It's gonna be another trap. He has both traps in the top half of his deck, so... Yep. And let him kill us. This is a horrible matchup. Just because of that, what you just saw basically, is they just get to the point where they freeze you forever, and then once you finally are getting close to lethal, then they actually, like, make it so you can never deal them lethal, and then they kill you. There's one reason why I would want to consider adding like a charge creature in the deck, because we probably could have killed him had we, I don't know, had like a Celsi deckhand or like Arcane Golem or something like that, because we'd be able to push through for some charge damage at least. So that's like one of the reasons why I was considering trying to make changes to the list if Freeze Mage definitely becomes more popular. And I've also just been noticing in a lot of matchups you do kind of want a charge minion, so I'm probably going to go back to the list eventually, really soon, most likely tonight, and add in at least like a 1-up charge creature, just because like you do in a lot of situations need that extra like charge damage, so you can push through for the Cold Blood. Anyways, I think, well, let's get rid of Miracle. I don't know which one I want to play first. I think we're going to save the best for last. And we're going to go with Trap Hunter next. This Trap Hunter list is a little, not too much different than the one I just posted up online. The only thing that's like a big difference is there's only one freezing trap. I had an Ironbeak Owl, and there's only one Savannah Highmane. I was watching Jab last night on his stream, and this is a list that I think is either the exact same thing or at least very similar, because I took kind of like his idea or his concept. And that was that since there's a lot of like hunter mirrors kind of going around, you don't actually want like a lot of traps, because they do run 2 flare. So you don't want to just get blown out by having 2 traps on the battlefield. The other thing is Ironbeak Owl gets a ton of value in just about every matchup, whether it silences an Undertaker, or it silences like a Sludge Belcher, or it silences anything really that just becomes a problem. It just helps out like a lot. The other strange thing about this deck is there's only one Savannah Highmane, which I Remember hearing Jab actually say it like probably 5 or 6 times last night in the stream within like a half hour because everybody just kept asking him why did he only have one Savannah High Maid left in his list, and he was saying that it's just not that great in the aggro metagame. And right now we are in kind of like that aggro metagame because everybody's either playing a hunter deck or they're playing a zoo deck or they're just playing some type of aggressive deck. Really, there's not a ton of control roaming around. I mean, we did just see, I think, 2 shamans and a no, we saw a shaman, a hunter, and a freeze mage. So I guess that's 2 control decks right there, and like the hunter is kind of like a mid-range deck. It's kind of aggro-y mid-range. I don't know. But this is also more like an aggro mid-range type of build. But that's why I only have one Savannah High Maid, is because I do kind of agree with him, and I feel like this is kind of like a more aggressive metagame. So that's only just for right now, at least. It could change in the future, depending on like what decks end up being on top. Which, if aggressive decks are on top, then eventually mid-range and control decks will start adapting to them, and like we'll see a lot more freeze mage most likely. And if we see a lot more freeze mage and we see a lot more aggro, then we're probably going to see a lot more warrior control, because freeze mage, their auto lose matchup is warrior control, and warrior control also has a decent matchup against like zoo and also hunter. So those are reasons to be playing warrior, but right now I don't feel like you can afford to, because there's not enough freeze mage roaming around, because you can't just scoop up those free wins basically just from hitting your hero ability every single turn. Probably within the next couple of weeks though, you'll be able to see that. But anyways, we're going to move on to our Trapped and Scared Hunter deck, and let's see if we can actually win some games, since right now we're not looking so hot. Kind of been like stagnant for the past couple of days, so nothing great has happened. The deck list is pretty sweet though. I've been playing Hunter on EU for quite a while, just because it was one of the cheaper decks to build too, and I do like aggressive decks quite a bit.
Versus Rexa.
Let the hunt begin. I will hunt you down.
In the Hunter matchup, you do not keep your Flare, and none of these cards are actually acceptable in a keeper or at least in an opening hand for this deck. You really do want the Undertaker or just some 1-drops, which this hand is lacking in, or even 2-drops, which this hand is also lacking in. The Eaglehorn Bow is fine. The other 2 cards are not what you want to be seeing. The Hunter's Mark you don't mind seeing if you actually have a 1-drop in your hand, because it'll help you take out your opponent's Undertaker. But that's really about the only time. Yeah, this hand is looking pretty grim. We'll see what we can make of it though. I'd like to do some more Warlock videos really soon, just because I'm only, I think, 9 wins away from getting Golden Warlock, so like I'd really like to do that on camera. So hopefully we can score a couple of wins, and then later on tonight I will probably try to record some more videos until I can actually get Golden Warlock. And also Luke might be stopping by too later on. He wanted to get together to record some videos as well. So hopefully we can do that today. But that's not going to be for another like 4-ish hours. So I have 4 hours to record by myself, which this will not be 4 hours long. I only plan on doing this for maybe an hour, 2 at most. And that was a good draw. We needed something to do on turn 2, and Hunter Creeper is welcome. Sunlight's starting to go away, so I figured I'd turn on the light. So far, still looking kind of grim. I mean, we're looking to cast our Eaglehorn Bow next turn, and I guess take things from there. We don't really have a turn 4 play yet, and him casting a Mad Scientist does not look very good for us. And if he doesn't trade in the Mad Scientist for the 1-2 side of this web spinner, then we're probably just going to Eagle Horn Bow it. Maybe we won't. So, I am afraid of coin. I already used coin actually, so maybe I'm not that afraid of Houndmaster anymore. But I do really want to take care of the beast side of this web spinner. So we're just going to start taking it out piece by piece. And in the Hunter matchup, the Mirror, you really want to make trades. Mostly as profitable as you can, and if you can't make profitable trades, then that's when you try to go for face. Well, that was insane for him. That is not what I wanted to happen. Yep. We drew a Flare, which I really do not want to cast, but considering we have no play this turn, I think we are going to have to. Like, we do not have a single thing to play. A web spinner is something to play. So it looks like we're going to take out his Mad Scientist, play our web spinner, and shoot him for 2. Hopefully that Sludge Belcher does us a little bit of work. Otherwise, this is still looking really grim, because, I mean, from our opening hand it looked really bad. And it hasn't really turned out much better.
I wonder.
And that owl silencing our web spinner was actually like a relevant play for him. Kinda stinks. Oh well. I'm not completely sold on the Hunter list right now. I know that when I was watching Jab last night, he was 22-7, I think it was, which is actually like really good. It means he's winning 2 out of his 3 games, basically, which is really good. This is awful. Not that bad, actually. So if I think that's a freezing or a snake trap, if it's a snake trap, I think I just lose. If it's a freezing trap, I think I also just lose. I actually don't think we just. I don't think we attack into that. I think we just end up playing a Sludge Belcher and passing, and hoping that he doesn't find an extra point of damage to get through our Sludge Belcher.
I wonder.
He has 5 mana, so I guess he could cast a Sludge Belcher of his own this turn. He could just go Bow into hero ability, which would not be the greatest thing for him either. If he has a Hunter's Mark, I'd probably use it right about now, because that's probably the biggest thing he'll be able to Hunter's Mark out of our deck. And it looks like he just wants to bow up. We're basically just setting up so that we don't get blown out by a freezing trap right now. We do kind of, just because his bow is going to actually get like an additional charge. But there isn't much we can do about this. And that's a flare. I'd say that's a good timed flare. I am excited for that flare. So I'm considering Hunter's marking the owl. It feels awful, but like I'd rather Hunter's mark an owl than kill command an owl. And we can't really Houndmaster for value, so we'll just, I guess, do this. Draw something we can cast? Yes, we do. So basically, I think we're just going to end up casting our Cobra and our Undertaker this turn. That way he has two difficult decisions to make for his bow. Because they're both really good bow targets, and I think he's still going to take the 2-3, unfortunately, because we actually have the Houndmaster for it. But, whatever. Ugh. Another trap.
I'll show them all. Mind if I roll need?
That's a bit surprising. So, it looks like I'm just going to be Houndmastering this. And I'm going to guess that that's an explosive trap, which is why he Hunter's marked it. So, I guess we're just going to go face. We'll let it happen, yep. So we could Eagle Horn Bow one of these. I think we will. Does it matter which one we do it to? Not really. Because it's just going to get value out of both. We're still looking pretty far behind. But there's not much we can do about it. And he's actually getting like a decent start now for his plan C. Yep. I'm gonna guess it's probably a freezing trap. Let's find out. It's an explosive trap. I was not expecting that, to be honest. We are still looking to be in an awful position. Nothing has changed. We're at 7 life, and there's no way he doesn't just have like a kill command in his hand to kill us right now. I mean, he's been sandbagging that last card in his hand forever, so like... Well, when you get a really, really bad start, like this one, don't be surprised to lose. It happens. Yep. So, we're dead? Yep, we're dead. Like, if I kill command that, it basically just shows that we're going to be losing the game. So there's no point in playing anymore. Alright. Well, there you go. Loss number 1. And I think I'm going to wait till my second loss with this deck, just because I'd rather be playing Zoo anyways right now. I do like Zoo quite a bit. So we'll try again. By the way, I'm at 409 for wins with Hunter, so that's kind of why I've been trying to push to play more Hunter lately. But I'm closer with Warlock, so that would be sweeter to get goldened out. The same guy? Nope, different guy. But a Hunter. Alright, this hand, a lot better. At least it has something to do on 1 and 3. Considering the last hand, you know, all we had was a bow. The bow is not worth it. Usually in the mirrors, because you end up taking damage, and you'd rather just throw creatures at other creatures so you don't take damage. That was a good draw. Starting off with the web spinner, not like we have any other options, but if we had an Undertaker, I would definitely start with the Undertaker. Like that. Coin into web spinner or leopard gnome. Yep, that's ugly. So it looks like I'm just gonna be throwing this away. Return angry chicken. Wow, that's so helpful. So I'm probably just going to throw like a mad scientist on the board. Next turn, casting an animal companion, hoping that it actually gets something that will find a way to kill off that Undertaker, because otherwise that Undertaker will actually kill us. I know, what a big surprise. You've heard me talk about Undertaker probably a lot on our podcast, and how much it kills people. So this kind of stinks. I actually might want to draw a card, because if I draw like a bow, or if I draw like a kill command, I'd rather actually use that.
Hunt you down.
At least just in this situation. And this guy's getting antsy, so he's trying to hunt me down now.
I'll show them.
Yep. So this is what happens when you play the Hunter Mirror and one person does the Undertaker and the other person does not. Just, you know, take a quick note. Well, I guess we're gonna freezing trap it to his hand, and yeah. Yep. Next turn we can cast a flare. Sounds pretty good. We are kind of gonna want to cast that Mad Scientist relatively soon, just because we don't want to actually draw into the snake trap. Oh please attack with that. No, it's so bad. So that was actually a good draw. So here, think we're just gonna flare? Yeah, I really don't want to run into any problems with that trap, so let's just flare. Explosive, well, I wasn't planning to attack him anytime soon. That kind of stinks for me, actually. So I'm gonna guess we just kill command the 4/5 and then just throw our web spinner into his leper gnome. And she's left with a knife juggler, but we took care of the Undertaker, which was the biggest concern.
Mind if I roll knee?
Yep. Well, at least that's getting returned to your hand. Thankfully. And I don't think that that's worth the Iron Beak Owl quite yet. So let's see what this animal companion rolls. Piggy. That's not very helpful.
I'll show them.
Just gonna go face and let him do his trade with his, 2/1. There's no way he wouldn't take that, because Piggy is definitely better than a Loot Hoarder, and the Loot Hoarder gets value from dying anyway. That's probably a freezing trap. Unfortunately, we do not have a second flare. But, if that is a freezing trap, then it is not. Okay. Well, this Savannah Highmane looks pretty good then. I was really hoping it actually was going to be a freezing trap, because then we wouldn't have to worry about it when we cast this Savannah, but I'm still going to cast this Savannah.
Put this apple on your head.
Explosive Trap is not that great, by the way. It doesn't do enough in the zoo matchups, and that's the only matchup you actually want it in. It does almost nothing in the hunter matchups, and nothing in just about everything else. Like, the only time you ever want to see it is just in zoo, and even then you don't want to see it all the time. So I'm going to cast my Animal Chumpanion, a Piggy. So it looks like I'm just going to take out the Knife Juggler and end up casting a Spider. Hopefully we can at least put a decent clock on him, and we can kill him before he kills us. Because our hand does not look that great. The Iron Beak Owl is the only thing we got going for us, and we literally got the two worst cards off of Hang on one sec. We got literally the two worst cards we could have off of our web spinner, which is the Captain's Parrot is the actual worst card you can get off of your web spinner, and the Angry Chicken is probably the second. No, it's probably the first worst card. The other one being Hungry Crab. And if that's an Unleash the Hounds, then you should have attacked first into one of our creatures. Ooh. Well, this set turned out pretty sweet. Let's see if he'll decide to go face now. I actually think he should. Hopefully he doesn't realize that. That's 5 points. It's gonna put me to 6, which is like very likely to kill me really soon. Okay. You don't want to take out my 2 tutus? That's fine. Not really, but you know, we'll deal. So we're gonna cast our really bad beasts and hope that's good enough. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points on the table. And we have an Iron Beak Owl to hopefully get rid of any Sludge Belcher or any taunt that he has in our way. This is a very close game, and I do not like it. Well, please don't tell me you have a kill command. That'd be awful for me. Nope. Thank Gad. So he's dead. We do the Unleash the Hounds, but we don't really need to show him that. And we had lethal. Yay! With his ridiculous Undertaker start. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Oh, maybe I'll do one more. I actually really want to get this quest out of the way anyways. If I can help it, I will. And I'm actually probably going to be cutting this video relatively short. My next video I'll be putting up will be for Zoo, because I need to get going in a minute, so I didn't realize what time it was. So this hand is okay. I don't even think we keep this Snake Trap, even though if he's Zoo, it's actually not that bad. But usually if you're the Zoo player, you don't end up attacking the Hunter player's creatures. So we're going to throw it away. I would rather have an Undertaker or like any small drop. Okay, I guess that's what I was asking for, but I was really hoping to go with like a Death Rattle with that. But oh well. So I'm gonna just flare this turn. This casting Undertaker sounds awful. So I think I'm just gonna coin out an Eaglehorn Bow. I kind of want to be able to play an Undertaker and not have it just die the turn I play it. That's kind of my reasoning, I guess. It's not the greatest of reasonings, but you know, I'd like to protect my Undertaker as much as I can because that's probably what's going to end up pushing through the game. So he's got enough damage on board to kill it now, which is not that big of a deal. So I still think we're going to cast it. And get our Mad Scientist going. Let me pass.
My shield.
Wow. Well, that was really nice for him. Yeah, that was like the best thing that could have happened. So, basically, it's coming down to we need to draw an Unleash the Hounds very, very, very soon, or we lose. I mean, at least that guy gets pretty big. But we don't have the greatest of ways. Yeah, we're just going to keep it like that. He's probably going to assume that it's freezing trap. At least that's the first trap that I assume whenever I see a trap, because most people just play freezing traps. Wow. Well, at least I'm going to get some value off a snake trap here. We're getting close to that Savannah Highmane. This is also a matchup where Savannah Highmane's not the greatest, but he is a decent finisher. But you do need to draw your early stuff in order to even get close to getting to the point of the game where Savannah Highmane matters.
I wonder.
So that's why he's not that great in this matchup. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we're just gonna see what this web spinner gives. Ooh-hoo-hoo. So I'd rather get rid of. Oh man, do we silence? I don't think we need to silence the O2. I think we can just silence the web spinner that he has. This isn't looking terrible. And we don't actually need to use that bow charge yet. We finally just got the board clear, and I'd like to keep the charge just in case he actually fills up the board again, which is what Zoo does.
Why do you call?
That's pretty good. That's not as great. It's fine. We have an answer for it at least.
Why do you call?
Had an answer for it. Well, it looks like we're just going to be casting a Savannah Highmane and taking out one of these. Do we really want to Hunter's Mark the 2/3? That was like the best thing he actually could have had, is double Voidwalker there. This is something that I want to be doing. Guess so. Not happy about it, but you know, if necessary, I will do it. And I guess we just trade that into there, because we actually do want extra bodies on the table to potentially make trades.
Put this apple on your head.
I know I'm not playing around Hellfire.
My shield for Argus.
Well, that's really good for him. He should go face here. That's my guess. Maybe? Wow. Well, you should go face there. Well, we're just gonna make these trades. What am I doing? Yeah, let's lose our bow. That sounds awful. Can we just cast this Iron Beak Owl, or no? I guess we should have probably cast it so that our Savannah Highmane didn't get broken up. But we'll keep it. We could cast another egg. Or a Void Caller. Well, at least we'll be able to take care of the Harvest Gold. That was a good draw. Piggy. So he's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means he needs to find 7 more points. And if I just go face here, I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which will put him to 10. Which will force him to trade himself. So I don't see why we don't just do that. Yeah, let's start going face. Try to put away the game so that if we draw like a kill command, we could probably kill him. Like if we keep making trades, he's just going to get a ton of value off of his hero ability anyways. And he just drew a Soulfire, so like that was insane for him. Yep. So we need to draw something to put away the game. Basically like any burn spell or just like another creature. We need to draw 5 points of damage basically somehow. Or make it so he can't just kill us the next turn. I don't know, I just didn't really see a way, like if we traded all of our creatures that last turn, then I don't really see a way of us winning almost ever. Because he's going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, casting 2 creatures a turn, and then it looks ugly for us. And if he wants to life tap here, which he does not, that's smart of him. So we'll just cast a Houndmaster. And I don't think he has any more taunt in deck, except for 1 defender, so we're just going to pass. So now that forces him to trade his Void Caller in.
Bring out your dead.
Getting hot in here. Need some water. He's just life tapped. Wow. Ha! That was a good draw. Alright, that's going to do it for me right now. I will jump back on later and probably do some zoo, because I'm probably going to end up grinding that until I hit Legend most likely. Because that's kind of been my theme for the past couple of months. But I appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and catch us at the Weekly Grind Podcast. This video will also be posted on our Facebook page. You can check out any of our pictures that we put up, screenshots of the game that have just gone like crazy. I have a good one with Miracle. Actually, we have a couple good ones with Miracle up right now. But that's all I got for you this week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page so that you can catch on to our videos that are going to be popping up there pretty soon. We also still have that if you are the first 100 subscribers to our YouTube page, then you will get a shout out on our podcast. So I hope you guys are excited about that, because we are too. Thank you for joining me this week. My name is Dave. I play as WingsOfWax, and I'm part of the Weekly Grind podcast. So that is it for me today. I'll see you next time, and have a great night.